live, of course, on other social networks that Doug's going to tell us about. Doug, why don't you tell us where else they're going to be streaming today?
We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Periscope, we're on Twitter, we're on our private server. We're all over the place.
Beautiful stuff. And all of those listings will be up in appropriate times where you can also check out the archives. We are going to be putting it as part of Blog Talk Radio, which you'll be able to check out after the show. We'll be uploading it and checking it out there. So I want to thank everybody. This is like the debut of this. And it was a long time coming for myself. I had stopped doing a lot of stuff a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago. And I was periodically doing talk shows and radio shows prior to that. And I just felt the need to want to be able to carry a message in a different kind of way than we had for years. And this is more of a lifestyles show, and we're going to talk about lifestyles issue. Yes, addiction and recovery will be some of those, but there will be other lifestyles issues that we will be talking about. I mean, I think for years, and even musically, there was this whole thing around rockers in recovery that said, hey, listen, it had to be music based only in recovery, and this is when we first started the whole thing years ago. It was started as me being a rocker in recovery, and that being said, that's why we did it. But over the years, it morphed into this whole thing that it had to do with musicians in recovery. And as I always say, if it was going to be musicians in recovery, we would have named it that. So I think that what we're here to be able to do is show the community that there are options, and there's a lot of things that are going on in our community health-wise. And I don't care if it's somebody dealing with Hep C to somebody that's dealing with mental health issues like bipolar or addiction issues, or some of them combined. I mean, there's so many other things, and there's a lifestyle today that we get to be able to start living a different way, and some of us don't have to be in recovery to do that. You know what I mean? I truly believe that there's an understanding sometimes that people in recovery think that we're the only people that we should be talking to, and I believe that the community as a whole needs to realize that there's so many things that I have learned because of my position in recovery on a daily basis, and how to live a little bit differently, may it be spiritually, mentally, physically. Now I'm able to transmit them and give them away and talk to other people about them. And so the guests that will be coming on the show will be a genre of guests. And so as the premiere show, I want to, again, thank everybody for tuning in. I had the opportunity not too long ago to get involved with a gentleman. His name is Doc Holliday. And Doc Holliday is a musician out of Nashville, and Doc is a really cool dude. And not only that, but he is a eye doctor, and that's why they call him Doc Holliday. Not to be involved with the Doc Holliday of the yesteryear. Our Doc Holliday is a musician, and he is a person that, spiritually speaking, when you get on the phone with Doc and you're going through your day-to-day situations, Doc's one of those cats that really, helps you to put things in perspective. And not only that, but musically, I think he was rated number 2 as singer-songwriter in Nashville 5 years in a row, but we'll get into that more. But here's a guy that's able to take musically the feelings that he's going through on a daily basis, or experiences that he's had, and be able to put them into music and use it as a healing situation where, if you look at music as a whole, music has always been a healing thing. So when you're going through situations and you're going through feelings and you're going through your ups and downs of life, and you throw on a song that might remind you of the person that you're missing, or you might remind you of the person that you feel that you want to, hang out with, or a situation. Maybe you were in a situation where back in the day, you were in high school, and songs come on, and it brings back those memories and brings back those feelings. And I think musically, if you look at our life today, we tend to put a lot of emphasis on a lot of negative stuff. And I tend to nowadays try to listen to the music that I'm listening to is going to bring forth, positive energy. And when you're talking about positive energy, you can't be talking about how you hate this one and may you shoot that one and all of the rest of the gangster stuff that comes out, just not into it. So musically, I think what we're going to be doing here, and more will be revealed, I've always said this in anything that I do, is that we want to take positive music and move it forward so people can learn new artists, maybe some old ones that are doing some new things, but to be able to present them in a way that might not necessarily be talked about in mainstream media. So I'm glad that Doc's my first guest, because Doc is just that. He's able to take his reality and put it in the music. So what we're going to do is get Doc on the phone, and we're going to start this out a little bit early and get this show on the road, so to speak. Doc, you with me?
I'm right here, brother.
You know something, man, it's always a pleasure and an honor to talk with you. And, one of the things that I don't know if you heard the opening, but one of the things that I was talking about was the fact that there's such a healing in music as a whole. You have, of course, been using music as a healing tool for a long time. And I think that when you talk about the healing aspect of it and you being able to say to somebody through music how you're feeling is also a cleansing thing for you. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, of course. It's, I think it started that way. I think it was kind of a cathartic thing when I was really going through a lot of transition and coming out of a really dark place. And it was, you're obviously, the show will be about more than recovery, but coming from that background and walking out of that place, you're one of the things that medicating for a long time does is it prevents you from really having to deal with your own feelings, but also it kind of prevents you from being able to access those and talk about them with other people at the same time. And so as I was, kind of eliminated the substances and the medication, so to speak, and alcohol and everything, all of a sudden you're confronted with all these feelings and thoughts and things that you've been avoiding. And just to be able to have an outlet like music, to be able to put them in things that might be a little bit, it might be, perceived as like a metaphor in some ways, but it was my way of being able to tell the truth without being too literal about it. And where it might be about me, it might not, but it was a way that I could kind of start to open up a little bit. And the irony of that is I found the more that I was doing that, the more that those songs would connect with other people and kind of help it pull stuff out of them too. And you almost, without meaning to, when you're doing that with music, you start to become, a voice for others who maybe can't find the words, and you're, I don't know, I guess like a channel sometimes to be able to provide that for other people, which is, that, I wish I could say I started out for that reason, but, that was a kind of an unexpected result in the early days for sure.
When did you start musically really understanding that this is something that you wanted to, move forward in your life and really wanted to have it a part of your life?
Oh, wow. I think when it really, it was at different times, it became different things. When I was younger, when I was just a kid, my parents were pretty involved in music in different ways, and they, had people around to play, and my mom sang, and I didn't really like it at the time because, it was something they were doing, and I you know, as a little kid, you're like, hey, pay attention to me. You know? So I'd go up and grab the necks on the guitars in the middle of songs. This was a total little annoying, little ass, you know. But I think the first time was, you know, about 15 or 16. I was really awkward socially. I thought I noticed the guys were having better luck with girls that played guitar and got into that. So that was my initial, you know, at 16. I mean, what other motive is?
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.